Can the Bears contend in the NFC North? Wow, good question. The Bears are absolutely going for it. I mean, I'll give them this. The Bears are going to get in pieces. People forget, just because the Bears have the first overall pick, people think, oh, they must have been awful last year. The Bears won 7 games. The Bears were 7-10. The Bears won the same amount of games last year that the Atlanta Falcons did. And a lot of people think the Falcons are Super Bowl contenders just because they have Kirk Cousins. If Caleb Williams is really good, and spoiler alert, the Bears are going to draft Caleb Williams. If Caleb Williams is good, let's just say he's as good as Bryce Young, the Bears could be really good with these pieces they have. With the pieces around him, they could be kind of nasty. I mean, you're talking about Keenan Allen, you're talking about DeAndre Swift, they already have DJ Moore. Hold on now. Hold on just 1 second.
How close is Chicago to being NFC North threats?
Molly, they're moving in the right direction. But what we've seen in the past, especially in the NFC, the Cowboys, on paper, they're a great team, right? But we haven't seen that success coming to fruition because of what they have on their roster. So for the Chicago Bears, they're making Ryan Poles is making all the right moves, right? You're getting these offensive weapons. You're setting up whether it's going to be Justin Fields or Caleb Williams with the #1 overall pick. You're setting the young quarterbacks up for success by making all the moves that they have made. Now, the reason why I'm not going to say that they're going to be able to contend for this division is because I believe that much in the Green Bay Packers.
I'm not totally sure what this guy's talking about. I mean, I've been really giving him some time to try and see. That's my face right now. I mean, that's my face right now. Just like I was waiting for a second to jump in, but I was like, I'm not even sure if I can jump in because I'm not totally sure what he's talking about. The Bears are definitely moving in the right direction. They're adding talent to their roster. They're getting a very talented roster, at least offensively, with these moves. And if they get Caleb Williams, which I believe they will, Caleb Williams is going to come into a pretty good situation. And usually first overall picks, especially quarterbacks, they come into horrific situations because their team was so bad to get the first overall pick. But to come into this team, to have Keenan Allen, to have DeAndre Swift, to have DJ Moore, to have Gerald Everett, that's impressive. No doubt about it. Now, the NFC North is legit. The Lions are legit. The Lions might be the best team in the NFC. The Packers took a huge step forward last year. Packers dismantled Dallas. The Packers finished strong. I will say the Bears definitely have distanced themselves from Minnesota, with Minnesota, I guess, going with Sam Darnold. And even if Minnesota drafts J.J. McCarthy or whoever, I think the Bears are definitely the third, maybe second best team in the North. They're going to be competing right there with the Packers. I think there's still distance between them and the Lions. The Lions have proven they can be a double-digit win team. They have proven they can be a team that is pushing for the NFC. The Bears have yet to do that, but this is certainly a right direction in going from 7-10 to trying to be that, okay, we're above 500. Okay, we're winning double-digit games.
Jordan Love and what he's been able to do. They got, Josh Jacobs, who's a bell cow back. They also signed Xavier McKinney. And I also love what the Detroit Lions have done in free agency. Just relax, Bart Scott. You ready to jump over the gate? We just started. Let me finish, Bart Scott. Calm down. Bart, don't. Calm down a little bit.
Holy Spirit activated.
But I really like what those two teams have done last season, but also what they've added to their team. The Detroit Lions, trading for Carlton Davis at the cornerback position, huge for their team. DJ Reader on the defensive line, also Marcus Davenport to go opposite of what Aiden Hutchinson has been able to do in the National Football League. I really like those two football teams, and I'm not looking at the Lions or the Packers to just contend for the division. I'm looking for those two teams to contend for the NFC as a conference. That's why I'm not ready to put the Chicago Bears there right now.
I don't need 5 minutes I don't need a 5-minute soliloquy. They're competing.
Wow. Shots fired. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, that was a brutal monologue from this young man on the left.
They are not contenders because the rest of the teams in the division. It's very simple.
I mean, for me, I'll put them right there. I think they'll put themselves in the conversation because this.
Put them right there with who? This is an insane question. The question, okay, the Bears are going to be better, but if the question is, are the Bears on the same level as the Lions now? The Bears, we don't even know who their starting quarterback is. It is insane. Let's pretend it's Justin Fields. If it's Justin Fields, the answer is no. They are not on the same level as the Lions. Now let's say it's Caleb Williams. The answer is, who knows? We haven't seen him play. He could be Zach Wilson or he could be C.J. Stroud. You know, is he Bryce Young? Like, what is exactly is Caleb Williams going to be? I think he's going to be really good. And if he is really good, the Bears are going to be good. But they still aren't going to be the Lions. The Lions were a legitimate Super Bowl threat, NFC champion threat last year. Do we think the Bears have taken that much of a leap? No. I can't stand when analysts do this. When they skip all these steps. The Bears 2 years ago were the worst team in the NFL. They made big steps last year. Big steps last year to be, okay, we're out of the bottom. We're not a bottom-dwelling team. We're a little bit below 500. We're a below-average team, but we're making steps. Oops, now we've brought in good players. Now we're bringing in some talented players to fill some positions. Okay, now let's take the step from below average to good. Let's take that step. But the analysts at ESPN want to jump straight from, okay, we were below average last year. Let's go ahead and straight to Super Bowl contenders. That's not how it works.
League in this game is about talent. And you talk about what Ryan Poles has done in the last couple of years. He's put a lot of talent. People forget that he traded for Montez Sweat in the middle of the year. And this defense was on fire and gave the Lions and everybody else everything that they can handle.
After that trade.
Right, after.
Yeah, I love that after that trade, after he just mentioned the trade. But if you think about who they went and got in the last 8 months, you know, or last year, you're talking about DJ Moore, Montez Sweat, Gerald Everett, Keenan Allen, like DeAndre Swift. Now it's probably going to be Caleb Williams. Like that is a crazy amount of roster moves. I mean, that is if you took the Bears over in Madden 2023 and you would have made all those trades in the first year of your Madden franchise, people would have been like, this is not realistic. The Bears have done a ton of movement, a lot of roster moves. They've been good too. The moves have been good so far. You know, DJ Moore's been really good. Montez Sweat's good. So we'll see how these moves they've made this offseason play. But as far as the name, as far as the value of the player, they're all very good.
To the trade, right? And, you know, he came in, got 6 sacks. And, you know, Ryan Poles is operating as a general manager that knows he has a quarterback on a rookie deal coming in, and he can go and spin like crazy.
Yes,
right.
Well
so
said.
he's improved the talent. You talk about being able to add Keenan Allen, veteran leaders.
Yeah, and I keep talking about Caleb Williams, but don't forget they have the 9th overall pick too. So is it going to be, oh, by the way, we're bringing in Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors? Is that what the wide receivers are going to be? We're going to go to this year having Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Malik Neighbors? That's insane. Oh, and DeAndre Swift's back there. Oh, and Gerald Everett's our tight end. Like, all of a sudden, it's like, man, do the Bears have the best playmakers in the NFL? Do the Bears have the best offensive weapons in the NFL all of a sudden? I mean, really think about it. Caleb Williams has a chance to be as good, if not better, than we saw C.J. Stroud was last year. So if that's the case with those weapons, and I'm just saying if they take a wide receiver 9, they could take all kind of different, and they could do all kind of different stuff with 9. But if they take a wide receiver, you know, I mean, the Bears could be a team that, on paper, very talented. Now, that does not mean that's going to translate to Super Bowl success. You can be a really talented team and still go through, you know, growing pains and all that. Just go ask the Chargers. Just go ask the Jaguars. You can absolutely be loaded name value wise, and you're sitting there at 9 wins because you got to learn how to win. You know, we just saw it with the Chiefs. The Chiefs wide receivers last year, not exactly superstar names, but they know how to win. So just because the Bears have what seems to be a Pro Bowl roster, name-wise, they still got to figure out as a franchise, and they have not been able to do that in a long time.
Also, great locker room guys, professionals to teach the young guys how it's done. So when you talk about from a talent acquisition, now all the pressure falls on the coach to be able to take this talent and make them a team.
Exactly.
Eberflus is whatever. I mean, time will tell. But I'm not in love with the guy.
I mean, the coach is, you know, I would say he's probably 3rd or 4th within the division as far as, you know.
I would say he's probably last in the division. I would say LaFleur is 1, O'Connell's 2, Campbell's 3, and I'm kind of giving some grace with Campbell because I'm not sure Campbell is that great himself, but he's a good man manager, a good motivator, and he's got Ben Johnson, which makes things easy. So I'm a little lukewarm. Yeah, I could hear someone say Eberflus is 3, Campbell's 4 on their own in their individual level, but I'm adding kind of Ben Johnson with Detroit situation. So that's how I would probably rank it: LaFleur, O'Connell, Campbell / Johnson, and then Eberflus.
If you think about leadership, but I think when you talk about talent with Kevin Bird, you got playmakers out there, right? You should be able to contend. It's how fast can these guys gel together, right? When I came over here for the Ravens with the Jets, it was a bunch of new faces from different places, right? They brought in Alan Faneca, Calvin Pace, Chris Jenkins, myself, Jim Leonard. We all came in like in a 2-year period, and we're able to gel and mesh because.
Well, we see this all the time, though, backfire, like the Eagles, the Dream Team Eagles, where it's like, man, they've got all these sweet players, all these big names. It doesn't gel, and they're not very good. So we've seen this exact same thing backfire before.
We had been in certain places, we had comfortable ability, we were familiar with each other as far as from a scheme standpoint. So I wouldn't put it past them. The question is, how do they handle this quarterback situation to make sure that Caleb Williams can have an environment where he's not looking over his shoulder? Because if Fields is still there, it could split the locker room because you have guys that will always believe that Justin Fields will give them the better chance to win right now. And the general manager has to think about the now and the future. And players don't want to hear that. They want to win right now with the best player.
That's my thing about the Chicago Bears when you look at them, how they're currently constructed. Right now, it's the distraction of, what is going to happen with Justin Fields.
I don't think there is a distraction. I think the players know the best chance we have moving forward is to take Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a generational prospect. We've seen what Justin Fields can do. And it's not great. Justin Fields is a fantastic running back. As far as playing quarterback, as far as the analytics, they're really bad. If you go look at his completion percentage from a clean pocket, off play action, if you go look at some of his true accuracy numbers, they're all bottom 5 in the NFL. They're all 28 and lower. Some of them are like in the 50s. So he's as bad as it gets as far as throwing the football. Running, as far as running quarterbacks, runs purely running, purely a rusher, fantastic, unbelievable. I mean, he is as dangerous as it gets. Problem is, you got to throw the football in today's NFL, and he has proven he can't do that. So I think they've seen enough with Fields as far as Fields versus Williams. I'd be shocked if there were still people in the locker room who thought Justin Fields gives them the best chance to win over Caleb Williams. If it was Justin Fields or Sam Darnold or somebody, yeah, sure, go with Fields, but to have your chance at Caleb Williams and to see what he could do, I would assume most of the people in the locker room are thrilled with that idea.
And I think it's organizational malpractice if you have both of those guys on the same roster, because we just recently heard DJ Moore, their star receiver, endorse Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Well, of course he's going to right now. Justin Fields is still on the team. Justin Fields is still there. Like, of course DJ Moore is going to endorse him. He's his guy. We'll see. I got a feeling that'll change quickly when Caleb Williams gets to town and they start seeing how good Caleb Williams is. Ladies and gentlemen, go down below. Let me know what you think. Does this make the Bears contenders? Are the Bears now a legit threat to win the NFC North with all of these free agency moves they've made, or do they still have a ways to go? Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.